Have you ever hopped on like a metro system and been
Oh,
like, wow, this is more than just a train. This is a whole experience.
yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about the Copenhagen Metro. So
Yeah.
get ready to dive deep into a transit system that's so smooth, it makes teleportation seem like a yesterday's news.
What always gets me about the Copenhagen Metro is how it becomes part of the city.
Hmm.
It's more than just getting you from point A to point B. It's
Right.
like they said, we're going to be efficient, we're going to be sustainable, and we're going to make it look good doing it.
And they definitely succeeded because we're talking about a city that is so in sync with its metro that it sees 360,000 people riding it every single day.
Oh.
And get this, it runs 20/47.
Oh, wow.
This city never sleeps, and the metro doesn't either.
So it's like a,
In fact,
yeah.
Copenhagen is one of only 3 cities in the entire world
Wow.
that has that kind of round-the-clock rapid transit.
That's pretty impressive.
Talk about keeping pace with the city that never sleeps.
Yeah, New York City.
Exactly.
Wow.
New York City.
That's incredible. And, it's a really great example of just top-notch urban planning.
Yeah.
When they decided to build the Copenhagen Metro, they did it while they were completely redoing this whole area called Aristad.
Okay.
It used to be all industrial and kind of boring,
Right.
but now it's like this totally hopping place to live and work, and the Metro is a big reason why.
Wow. So it's like they took a blank slate and said, we're going to revitalize this entire area,
Yeah,
and the metro is going to be at the heart of it.
exactly.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it. Sometimes transportation can really breathe new life into a city.
That's amazing.
It's not just about the trains, it's about what the trains make possible.
Right. And we're not even just talking about one line here.
Right.
The Copenhagen Metro has 4 distinct lines, the M1,
Yep.
M2, M3, and M4, and each one's got its own like little quirk, its own route.
Okay.
And they sort of crisscross the city like these arteries, just delivering efficiency everywhere they go.
I love that you call them arteries.
And speaking of personality, the M3 is a circle line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just picture a giant clock face,
Okay.
just meticulously ticking away, carrying passengers in this continuous loop around the heart of Copenhagen.
That's very cool. Very innovative.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes those really groundbreaking ideas, they come with their challenges.
Oh, really?
Like when they were building the M2 line,
Yeah.
there were some pretty big debates.
What
But a
about?
lot of people who lived in the city were worried about the noise.
That's understandable.
Yeah, it's tough because you want progress.
Yeah,
But you also have to think about the people who are already there.
right.
How do you make sure everyone's happy?
Exactly. How do you find that balance between, pushing forward with innovation and also making sure that the people who are there are comfortable in their own city?
It's a classic urban dilemma.
Yeah.
But, I think the M2 line is a good example of how you can at least try to find that balance.
And you know what else I think is really cool about the Copenhagen Metro?
What's that?
It's driverless. Can you imagine that?
That's wild.
Being in the front car,
Yeah.
the tracks stretching out in front of you, and there's not a soul
Nobody.
behind the wheel. It's like you're stepping into a sci-fi movie, but it's real life in Copenhagen.
That's so cool.
And then there are the stations.
What about them?
They're not just like your average subway stop. They're like these architectural masterpieces.
Oh, I totally agree.
Have you seen these things?
They're amazing. The architects who designed them, KHR Architecture,
Okay.
they really knew what they were doing.
Right.
These stations are full of natural light. They're open. They're airy.
It doesn't even feel like you're underground.
Forget those dingy old tunnels.
Right.
These are like little oases of peace in the middle of a busy city.
And you know what else they have? Those platform screen doors.
Oh, yeah, I love those.
Which at first glance you just think, oh, that's a really nice, sleek design element.
Right.
Which they are, but they also are really important for passenger safety.
Exactly. It's like they thought of everything.
And it's all done with that signature Scandinavian elegance.
That's something I've always admired about the Copenhagen Metro.
Yeah.
It's safe, it's efficient,
Right?
and they don't mess around when it comes to making sure everything runs smoothly.
And who's the brains behind this whole operation?
Well, the company that owns and operates the system is called Metroselskabet.
Okay.
They're the ones who are really on top of everything.
Okay.
But the real star of the show is something you don't even see. It's called the Automatic Train Control System, or ATC.
The ATC
Yeah.
sounds pretty high tech.
It is. It's basically the brain of the entire metro.
Wow.
It's got these 3 subsystems, ATP, ATO, ATS,
Okay.
and they all work together to make sure everything's running smoothly and safely.
That's amazing.
Think of it like a perfectly synchronized dance,
I love that.
but with technology instead of dancers.
That's a great analogy.
Every train, every door, even the switches on the track.
Wow.
The ATC is managing it all.
So it's like the conductor, the engineer, and the traffic controller all rolled into one.
Exactly. And
Ah.
to keep this whole intricate dance going, you need a really good stage crew.
Right.
And that's where the control and maintenance center comes in.
Okay.
It's over in Vestimager, and that's where you'll find the team that keeps everything running smoothly.
The unsung heroes.
They work tirelessly behind the scenes to make sure there are as few delays as possible and that any repairs are done quickly and efficiently.
And so they're making sure that the show goes on.
Exactly.
I love it.
They're the ones who make sure that the Copenhagen Metro lives up to its reputation for being one of the most reliable and efficient metro systems in the world.
So we've got all this amazing technology, this incredible efficiency, but I'm curious, how did this all begin? Tell me about the history of public transportation in Copenhagen.
Well, to really understand that, we have to go back to a time before the metro even existed.
Okay.
We have to go back to 1934 and the birth of the S-train,
The S train.
Denmark's very first electric railway.
So this is where it all started.
This is the foundation upon which everything we've been talking about is built.
Okay, this is fascinating.
It's a story of innovation, of perseverance, and of a city's unwavering commitment to creating a transportation system that truly serves its people.
All right, well, let's take a ride back in time
Let's do it.
and explore the origins of this incredible network.
I'm ready when you are. The S-train wasn't just some new way to get around, It
Yeah.
was like this symbol of progress for the whole country.
Yeah.
Hey, look at us. We've got electric trains now. And it really got people excited about the possibilities of public transportation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And you can still feel that energy today.
You're talking about a network that's been around for almost a century.
I know, right?
We've almost gone through some pretty wild transformations.
Oh, absolutely. It's grown right along with the city. It goes way beyond just the city center now. Like, it reaches out and connects all these surrounding towns and suburbs. It's really the backbone of Copenhagen's whole public transportation system.
So it's not just about getting around the city, it's about connecting the entire region.
Exactly. And the best part is, it doesn't matter if you're commuting to work or just exploring a new neighborhood.
Yeah.
They've made it so the journey is just as enjoyable as the destination.
I'm picturing this giant web, like meticulously woven together to connect every corner of Copenhagen and even beyond.
That's a great way to put it.
And what I think is so cool is that you've got this intricate network of the S train, and then you've got this modern marvel of the metro.
Yeah.
And somehow they work together in perfect harmony.
They're not competing against each other. They're like
Yeah.
two parts of the same thing working together to create this amazing public transportation system.
Like two pieces of a puzzle.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
you see it perfectly with the M1 and M2 lines.
It's all about that.
They actually share a track for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, about 7.69 kilometers between Van Loos and Christianshavn,
Wow.
just running side by side like old friends.
I love that.
And then they go their separate ways.
So wait, so if I'm on the M1 at Van Loos
Yeah.
and I'm going towards Christianshavn, I could just hop on an M2 train without even having to switch lines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's how connected the system is.
Wow.
It's super easy to get around.
That's incredible.
No need for complicated transfers or anything.
So the M1 and the M2, they're buddies for a little bit,
Exactly.
but then they branch off to their own destinations.
Yep. So the M1 keeps going for about 13.9 kilometers in total.
Oh,
It goes all the way out to Vestimager, and it stops at 15 different stations along the way.
wow.
Each one of those stations is like a portal to a whole new side of Copenhagen.
Okay, so the M1 is like the explorer
I like that.
taking you to all the hidden gems.
Exactly. And then there's the M2.
Okay, and the M2, that's the one that goes to the airport, right?
You got it. Straight to the airport.
That's so convenient.
It's about 14.2 kilometers long
Okay.
with 16 stations. And it actually follows the route of this old train line called the Amager line.
Oh, wow. So they repurposed the old track.
Exactly. It's like they're honoring the past
Mm-hmm.
while still embracing the future of transportation.
It's like they've taken all these different pieces of history and innovation and woven them together to create this beautiful tapestry of transportation.
I love that analogy.
It's both familiar and futuristic at the same time.
That's Copenhagen for you. Always innovating, but never forgetting where they came from.
Exactly. And speaking of weaving,
Yes.
the S-Train network has its own unique patterns and loops
Oh, yeah?
that make it so efficient and charming.
They really do. Like, have you ever heard of the Ringbanen?
They're bought in.
It's this loop line that goes between Hellerup in the north and København Syd in the south.
Okay.
And along the way, it connects with all these other lines that go out from the city center, like spokes on a wheel.
So if I wanted to see all the sights of Copenhagen,
Yeah.
I could just hop on the Ringbanen And it would give me a nice little tour.
Exactly. It's like a scenic route through the heart of the city.
That's so cool.
And if you really want to be impressed, make sure you check out the elevated section around Nuremberg Station.
What's so special about it?
The views are incredible.
Oh, wow.
You get to see all these colorful houses and bustling streets and charming canals.
It sounds like a photographer's dream come true.
It really is. You can get some amazing shots from up there.
Okay, so we've talked about all these different lines and routes.
Yes.
But I'm curious about the brains behind the operation. How do these trains manage to run so smoothly and efficiently?
That's where things get really cool.
Okay, tell me more.
Both the Metro and the S train use this super advanced system called automatic train control,
Automatic train control.
or ATC for short.
ATC.
Yeah, and it's basically like having a conductor, an engineer, and a traffic controller all rolled into one incredibly smart computer system.
Whoa, so we're talking next level technology here.
Oh, absolutely. This is the future of transportation.
And what exactly does it do?
It monitors every single aspect of the trains and the tracks.
What kind of things?
We're talking about speed braking,
Okay.
making sure the doors open and close properly, even making sure that the switches on the tracks are set correctly so the trains go the right way.
That's incredible.
Uh,
It sounds incredibly complex.
it is, but it works like a charm.
And that's how they can have driverless trains.
That's a big part of it. Yes.
Wow.
And it also helps them keep those trains running frequently and on schedule.
Speaking of frequency, how often do trains come?
Well, during rush hour, when the city's really hopping,
Yeah.
you can catch a metro train about every 2 minutes on the busiest lines.
Every 2 minutes.
Yep. And the S trains, they run about every 5 minutes or so.
Wow. Talk about efficiency.
They've definitely got it down to a science.
It's clear that Copenhagen really knows how to keep its citizens moving. But what about the future?
What about it?
What's next for this amazing transportation system?
Well, hold on to your hats because things are about to get even more exciting.
Oh, really?
To tell you, they're working on a whole new generation of S trains.
A whole new generation. What number are they on now?
This will be the 5th generation.
The 5th generation.
I know, right? Talk about cutting edge.
And what's so special about these new trains?
Imagine this fully automated trains gliding silently along the tracks.
No way. Driverless S trains.
You got it. No drivers needed.
That sounds like something out of a futuristic movie.
I know it's going to be a game changer for public transportation in Copenhagen.
And when can we expect to see these futuristic trains?
They're aiming to have them up and running by 2030.
2030. Okay.
So not too far off in the grand scheme of things.
So Copenhagen is constantly pushing the boundaries of innovation.
Always.
But it's not just about having the latest and greatest technology.
Right. It's bigger than that.
It's about creating a truly sustainable transportation ecosystem.
Exactly. They're thinking about the big picture.
And speaking of sustainability, I'd love to circle back to the design of the stations themselves.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about the metro stations and their open design and the natural light.
Yeah.
But tell me a bit more about that.
Well, they're all about that classic Scandinavian design.
Okay.
Sleek, modern minimalist.
Okay.
They use a lot of glass and steel and clean lines, and they always make sure there's plenty of natural light.
I can see why you compared them to art galleries earlier.
It's true. You don't feel like you're underground at all.
It sounds very calming.
It is. It's a nice contrast to the hustle and bustle of the city above.
And then there were those platform screen doors.
Oh, yeah. I love those.
Not only are they stylish,
Mm-hmm.
but they also add an extra layer of safety.
Exactly.
It's like they thought of everything.
They really did.
And what about the S-train stations? Do they share a similar design aesthetic?
You know, the S-train stations are interesting because they've been around for so long.
Right.
You'll see a real mix of architectural styles.
Like what?
Well, some of the older stations are really charming.
In what way?
They've got these intricate details and a sense of grandeur that you just don't see in modern architecture so much anymore.
That's-
They're like little time capsules.
I love that.
And then you've got the newer stations, which are much more modern and sleek, but they all have one thing in common.
That's that.
They're all designed to be functional and accessible for everyone.
That's what matters most.
Exactly. They want to make sure that everyone has a good experience on public transportation.
It's amazing how they can blend form and function so seamlessly.
Yeah.
But speaking of blending and weaving and connecting,
Yeah.
I heard there's something really cool happening with the metro right now. The M4 extension.
Oh, yeah. The M4 line, they're actually extending it right now.
Okay.
It's going to go all the way to the Sydhavn district.
Oh, wow. And when can we expect that to be finished?
It's supposed to open in June 2024.
Oh, okay. So pretty soon.
Yeah, very soon. And it's not just a couple of new stations either.
Oh, really?
It's going to have 13 brand new stations. Yeah, it's going to completely change how people get around that part of the city.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a pretty significant expansion of the metro network.
Oh, yeah, this is a big deal. And the best part is, it's all about making connections, you know?
Okay.
So the M4 extension, it's going to connect to Ny-Ellebjerg Station.
Yeah.
And that's already a major hub for the S trains.
Right.
But once the M4 gets there,
Yeah.
it's going to be like Grand Central Station.
Wow.
You'll have metro lines, S trains, regional trains, even long-distance trains.
All in one place.
All in one place. It's going to be amazing.
That's incredible. It's like they took a city that was already incredibly well connected.
Right.
And they said, you know what, let's kick it up a notch.
Exactly. They're always looking for ways to improve.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the M4 extension is coming soon, but are there any other big plans for the Copenhagen Metro in the works?
Well, there are always rumors. You know,
I love a good rumor.
Right. One of the big ones right now is a potential M5 line.
An M5 line.
And get this. They're talking about taking the existing F line, which is an S train line, and converting it into a full-blown metro line.
Wow. So they would basically be absorbing part of the S train network into the metro.
Exactly. It would be a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
But it would make the whole system even more integrated and efficient.
That's really interesting. It's like they're constantly thinking about how to optimize everything.
That's what I love about Copenhagen. They're never satisfied with the status quo.
They're always pushing the envelope. And that commitment to constant improvement isn't just limited to the metro.
Oh, definitely not.
It's clear that Copenhagen is really trying to create a culture of sustainability.
Absolutely.
And you can't talk about sustainability in Copenhagen without mentioning cycling.
Oh my gosh, it's like the bike capital of the world.
Right.
Everyone bikes there.
It's true. I mean, they've got bike paths everywhere.
Everywhere you look.
And the infrastructure is amazing.
It's incredible. They've really gone above and beyond to make cycling safe and convenient.
It's a great example of how a city can prioritize both the well-being of its citizens and the environment at the same time.
Exactly. It's a win-win situation.
I love it.
Yeah.
But I get the feeling that Copenhagen's dedication to sustainable transportation goes even deeper than just the metro, the S trains, and those iconic bikes.
Yes, you are absolutely right. They've got another trick up their sleeve.
What's that?
Harbor buses.
Harbor buses. I've never even heard of that. Tell me more.
Okay, so picture this.
Okay.
You're gliding across the water. The sun is shining. The breeze is in your hair.
Okay.
And you're surrounded by the beautiful sights of Copenhagen.
That sounds amazing.
That's the harbor bus experience.
Okay, so these are like water taxis?
Kind of. But they're also a really fun and scenic way to get around.
Okay, so where do they go?
They have 10 stops all along the harbor front.
Okay.
So you can hop on and off and explore all the different neighborhoods.
Oh, it's so cool.
It's a whole different perspective on the city.
So if I want to see Copenhagen from a whole new angle, I should hop on a harbor bus.
Absolutely. You won't regret it.
I love it. This deep dive has been incredible.
It has.
We've gone from those driverless metro trains zipping along underground to the elegant S trains soaring above the city.
It's amazing how much they've accomplished.
And then those charming harbor buses just put it over the top.
It's the perfect blend of old and new.
Copenhagen has truly mastered the art of urban transportation.
I couldn't agree more. They're setting the standard for the rest of the world.
It all comes down to their dedication to innovation sustainability and the belief that transportation is about more than just getting from point A to point B.
Exactly. It's about creating a better quality of life for everyone.
And there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the heart of Copenhagen's extraordinary public transportation system.
It's a story of progress, ingenuity, and a deep respect for both people and the planet.
We've explored its rich history, marveled at its technological advancements, and uncovered hidden gems like those delightful harbor buses.
I hope this inspires you to visit Copenhagen someday and experience it for yourself.
Yes. If this journey has sparked your wanderlust,
Please do.
we encourage you to delve even deeper into the world of Copenhagen's transportation wonders.
There's so much more to discover.
Until our next deep dive adventure.
Happy travels, everyone.
Safe travels.